So yeah, touching on nicely from that, we get into something that I guess is kind of a bit late at the minute, but you know, I'm not really, as we were just saying, we're not really into the hype and stuff, but it's something that I guess is being in the media and being hip hop, we're sort of duty bound to discuss it. So this cat, I recently posted this a couple of days ago, and this was my statement. You know, man, this cat running around with Nas' name, blasphemous, you know, and we see what he doing. And this is a post somebody else had posted first about, you know, Lil Nas X, and they say he started off with a wholesome song like Old Town Road to rear your children in. And now that parents let their guards down, the wolf in sheep's clothing reveals his true nature. Be careful what you allow in the minds of your children. Same with Cardi B and Mega. Now, you know, that's somebody's point of view, you know, making a comparison of how they feel of him as an artist. I don't know about making a comparison with him and Cardi B and Mega. I kind of like Cardi, she do her thing. But, you know, we see an inundation of comments from people really showing that they're against it. Some people say he sold his soul. Some people say infinite gunshot. Some say, so you're getting touched by the devil, doggy style. Some people said he claimed
he was bossing it wide on the devil.
Somebody
I'm
said,
like, what?
He said
this
on TikTok
crazy.
he did it because people said he was going to hell for being gay or something. So you know, let's put it out there. But one of the things, to be honest, why I touched on it, and we've seen somebody on the comments that said Nas approved it by doing a feature. And somebody said he did too. You know, I guess artists would do anything for $1. Shake my head. You know, so this, you know, first big sucking a daddy dick. Now that's come back to surface as well, slightly off topic, because I've seen a few people posted about that recently. You know, kind of trashing Notorious B.I.G. You know, rest in peace, Christopher Wallace.
Oh yeah.
About some of his questionable choice of lyrics, and to be honest, I was never the biggest Biggie fan like that. And I you know, people
personally, I wasn't really either.
People gonna say I'm biased because I was down with Pac, but at the end of the day, it was the same thing. Some lyrics, you know, I'm more for the, you know, lyricism. I'm more for artistry. I'm an artist myself, so I kind of find it hard sometimes to be the one that puts the confine on somebody else's art. You know, one of my biggest deals and slogans is no squares allowed, which is all about, you know, sort of being yourself and breaking out of boxes and conformity and stuff. So I don't carry myself as a hypocrite. So I seldomly like to condemn somebody into just like a category and say, you know, it's just like that. But when it comes to lyrics, I really like to listen to something that I think, you know, and when Big was a dope lyricist, but some of the stuff was a bit questionable. So somebody put that on here, you know, and Nas approving it now. People are questioning NYC. This is kind of putting
Where is Lil Nas X from? Like, what part of America is he from?
I have no idea. It's not somebody I really took any time to do any sort of research as such. I don't know. Let's see if we actually Google it while we're at it. And, so we can tell you. And now we see people, this white guy, why I bought Lil Nas Satan X shoes. Okay, we'll get to that in a bit. It says he's from Lithia Springs, Georgia. So he's from the south.
Okay.
Well,
he's from Atlanta.
Well, not Atlanta. Atlanta's different. You know, he's from Lithia Springs. You know, Atlanta's in Georgia, so he ain't.
Yeah.
He's from somewhere different, but he probably, you know, got his connects out there. Whatever. I know some say Atlanta's like the gay capital of the South or something. I don't know.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, it is a bit fruity down there. To be fair, that's what I've been seeing anyway. I noticed.
Oh yeah, I mean, Pimp C did say that some years ago and stuff too. But I mean, getting back to it though, because you know, like I said, we're touching on this because we're hip hop. So one of the most questionable or colorful, I guess, characters we've seen within hip hop over the years, I'd say, has to be probably Eminem. Now, Eminem's done some questionable stuff in his videos, and this isn't me advocating any, you know, of these guys' artistic performances or anything like that. You know, Eminem, he wore drag and stuff. I don't think he's ever done anything like that, bent over by the devil. I think that sounds like something you'd expect to see in a South Park, you know, cartoon or some stuff like that. But there seems to be a lot of outrage towards Lil Nas X doing this. Now, my whole thing is, number one, you know, I think Nas as an MC it's a shame that he's got this guy running around with his name, and just now I know people gonna say it's a different name. It is apparently Lil Nas X said he wasn't familiar with Nas, or he meant no disrespect by it and stuff, and you know, he may change it in the future. But you couldn't have a little DMX X or a little JX or a little, you know, a little imagine some. Look what Al did to Cannabis.
Just for putting the mic on his arm.
This is what I was gonna say. You know, even for that, for jumping on his record and making a line talking about it. I said, yo, you don't want to borrow that. You don't. No. You know, and
go
then,
get your own thing.
Yeah, you know, and I'll shut him down, and you know, he dropped the Jack the Ripper and all of that. You know, Cannabis come back with the knockout, but you know, my point as a veteran MC, how does I don't know, people gonna say times change, but this guy is out. He's got Nas's name. Even if you Google his name, like we just did, you know, there's people asking, you know, is he Nas's son? You know, what's his relation to Nas? You know what I mean?
They will do, because he's got the, yeah, you're right, man.
I'm about seeing it now, but it was one of the top Google searches before, like, you know, him and Nas. So it's like the stuff that he doing is out of order. Now some gonna say it's a publicity stunt. We've recently seen that he's announced a shoe that has nothing to do with Nike, but apparently it has something to do with Nike, but apparently it don't. So it's got some kind of a backwards Nike tick, and it's apparently supposed each shoe's got 1 drop of human blood. Now they don't say where this blood allegedly comes from. Now this is why I stay away from a lot of some of the stuff in today's society, man, because you get all these things where they be getting people to donate blood and get blood, this and that. You don't know where this stuff going. Now you got these fools coming out with shoes.
Yeah, with blood in it. Like,
why? A drop of blood in it, but the point is they don't even explain where the blood come from. We just
what? Oh, why? Like, why would you want a drop of blood in your shoes? Like, I just don't like what? Why?
It's allegedly a drop of human blood. It's not like, you know. I mean, I'm not saying it's any bad, but you know, it's not like it's saying it's pig's blood or this blood. Why? I don't know what kind of stuff this boy be into. But, he says it's got a real drop of human blood. So, like I said, marketing. Just looking at the marketing, and then we see the sneakers cost just over a step, and they feature an inverted cross, a pentagram, and the words Luke 10:18. So let's see if we pull up Luke 10:18 and see why he feels this is so important. And Luke 10:18 is saying, he replied, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. So we don't know if he's trying to advocate he wants to see the destruction of Satan, or is he saying he with that man, you know. So Nike calling for copyright and trademark infringement. They absolutely categorically denied any involvement to do with these shoes. They say that it's, you know, the press is quite bad for him. He claims that it's to do with his sexuality, people are hating on him, and things of this nature. And it says there is already evidence of significant confusion and dilution occurring in the marketplace, including calls to boycott Nike in response to the launch of the Satan shoes, based on a mistaken belief that Nike had authorized or approved the product. So we see the governor has said our kids are being told that this kind of product is not only okay, but it's exclusive. But do you know what's more exclusive? That God-given eternal soul. We are in a fight for the soul of our nation. We need to fight harder. We need to fight smart. We have to win. Imagine that.
The governor's come out and said that.
And she looked like she, I don't know what nation she is. South Dakota, you know. So that coming from a white lady, you know. And she telling them about saving his soul. So what do you think of this guy Lil Nas X and the stuff he doing? I think it's even more disappointing that he a dark-skinned dude like that as well, because I think they've been trying to assassinate the character, the image of dark-skinned people in the media for a period of time, like having.
But that's what I think has a lot to do with it as well. Yeah, you're right, and I think a lot to do with it is to try and push this LGBT agenda onto us a lot more, and to kind of the whole feminization of the black male, or emasculation, or I should say, of the black male. I think that he's part of that agenda. I think they're kind of using him as part of that face. Do you know what I mean? And at the same time as well, you know what the lady said in the comment section that you were talking about? She was saying he'd lured in the kids with this, like, that old time. How the song go again? You know, the first song he came out with.
Road, apparently.
Old Town Road. And then he came out with a children's book. This guy's got a children's book out that came out, I think it was sometime last year. Yeah.
Unbeknownst to me, he said,
And then about a month ago, he had a live concert on Roblox, which obviously Roblox is a kid's game. Like, kids play on Roblox, and they had access to his concert via playing Roblox. So if they're marketing him at the kids, and now this is his next move, I'm very wary of that. I'm very I don't like that at all, because if you're trying to market this guy at the kids, and now he's doing this video, he's dancing on the devil, he's twerking on the devil, and he's got all this kind of homosexual stuff in there. And I'm not trying to, this is the thing, I'm not no homophobic or anything like that. That's not my thing. Like, but my point is, it's like you're feeding this to the minds of young kids who, they're not ready for those kind of images yet.
Of course. I mean, sorry to interject, but what I didn't realize, because I should have did more of that timeline, like you just broke it down, which I appreciate that. He was targeted and marketed towards, minors in that kind of regard. And as you said, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think nobody had stepped out and said they had an issue with him for his lifestyle choice. People had even said that, Nas and other people had, lent collaboration to him and stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But, let's look at Macklemore. Macklemore is the same now. I'm not sure of Macklemore's orientation, so I don't know about speculating anything. But my point is, some say some of Macklemore's biggest fans are within the LGBT community and stuff like that, and he was like a pro sort of gay rapper in a sense where, he was fed to that. So, but he stayed and kept it at a sort of level. Now, what you're saying about Lil Nas X now, and I get you, but with what he's doing now, is this actually gonna not like sway any people to sort of see him as a regular, musician, just do this thing, or would this actually freak people out or scare people to the point of not wanting to work with him? Or do you think it will work the opposite in today's sort of climate, that he will get a lot of support? Now we've seen that he's angered a lot of the big wigs, Nike itself, the governor and things of that nature. Now let's see if I can pull up that quick report quickly that we just seen, which was people talking about why they bought his shoes. So imagine how popular that search is. Satan shoes, Lil Nas X.
Yeah.
I bought the shoes because I knew the resale value on the shoes was going to be pretty high because of its popularity and also the recent controversies surrounding the shoes.
We see a lot of pastors and stuff chiming now.
Actually, in the past, have usually thought collecting sneakers was a little bit weird. I've never been into it, but I've been a longtime fan of Mischief. I am definitely more into the counterculture kind of aspect of Mischief. That's what I really love about them. None of their drops seemingly make sense. They're all going against the mainstream. They're all pushing the boundaries.
I happen to be LGBTQ and atheist, so for those two reasons alone, I wanted to support a black gay man who is attempting to, show a different narrative in a majority Christian country that currently is dealing with a lot of issues with black people.
Did they call him a man? I thought he was still like a...
What I do know,
and that's another thing. I was hearing that he had some kind of breast implants the other day or something.
It really has.
It was a
ruin a lot of people's livelihoods. And
just trolling, or
It was
crushed a
some
lot
kind of
artistic
promotional stunt.
expression
Yeah, we
because
covered on
it's a
it.
huge market of sneakers and artistry in general is reselling and customizing blank canvases.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, he hardly did anything like Dapper Dan, but they say they produce 666 pairs of the shoes, and you know, a couple of people that bought them. There we see somebody who says they bought them so they can potentially resell them now. You know, and they say that they're continuing as of 2 hours, being reported by the Independent. They're continuing to still make the shoes, even though judges have ordered the makers to stop shipping.
okay.
So we're definitely living in critical times. I think, you know, just in terms of, you know, not to come too much from a religious aspect, but to deal with things from a spiritual aspect. Cause, you know, we're taught that, you know, we wrestle not just against flesh and blood, but powers and principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. So one of the things where even in this scenario, what we see, there's got to be an unseen. Now some say who's behind the scenes of Lil Nas X pulling the strings, because just like you know, a clip that we have shared with T Miles, just speaking on some of the ills within the industry and how some of these execs you know are, and things that happen behind the scenes. Like I'm just like, if this is the stuff that we are seeing, imagine the stuff that we aren't seeing. Not that I want to see it, because I don't want to see this. But because my point is, you've got other, like, if you've got other so-called celebrities that are, you know, so-called normal or whatever, and you know, not doing, you know, the outrageous and out-the-box stuff, and behind the scenes there's so much, you know, sordid stuff and smoke and mirrors and all. Imagine how much sordid stuff and smoke and mirrors is going on around this camp.
That we don't
Because
see.
yeah, because what we
That's a
see
fact.
is quite aberrant. It's quite you know, disturbing to a lot of people in a lot of ways as well. So and you know, I think it's definitely dangerous, like you mentioned earlier, just especially where if he's got a huge fan base on minors and stuff, and he's pushing, I'd say, a rebellious, you know,
Sort of narrative.
He pushing a demonic narrative, you know, to be honest, because
Yeah.
he making no bones about it. I mean, just like his breast augmentations or his promo, it can be speculated whether it's true or not, but he's still making no bones about it, that the narrative behind these shoes are demonic. You know, I haven't listened to his music, but as he said, he came out with the Old Town Road, which was a popular Billy Ray Cyrus song. You know, and apparently people was upset at first within the country world and stuff.
Yeah, I heard that as well. Yeah, I heard that.
You know, they wasn't really taking to him and what he was doing.
But that's probably a racial thing, though, really.
Well, I think it was, but you know, there's it's kind of a mixed bag, to be honest, because through that was how he garnered a lot of support as well, because it was sort of like, well, you know, you can't be against a gay black guy trying to do country. A lot of people got behind him, you know, and because as you said, he was doing what they thought, you know, he trying to do country music. You know, Johnny Cash, one of my favorite country artists of all time. And you know, when Johnny Cash died, he put out his collection, and most of the songs were talking about God and talking about making positive changes in his life. You know what I mean? Now, understandably, Lil Nas X is like 21 years old or something. He isn't, you know, he hasn't had a long life or anything like that. So even like when some of the guys were speaking and saying, this man, he speaks for black gay men, he can't really speak for black gay men. He could probably speak for black gay teens. Or black gay, you know, he can't, you know, because he ain't reached that stage of adulthood as such, you know, which can be debated by other people. So my thing is, if he came out with that country sound and everybody thought that's what he was doing, like Johnny Cash wouldn't come out. Imagine Johnny Cash coming out country, you know, Ring of Fire and all the rest of the stuff he done, and you know, and then, you know, you see Johnny Cash, you know, bending over and taking one up the tailpipe, and in some music, it wouldn't happen.
This would have happened,
Yeah.
innit?
So it makes me think: was it a plan from the start for him to come out that way, sort of garner people's sort of trust and sympathy? Because one thing we're talking about the devil, especially if we're talking demonic, people, that's how the devil works. It ain't like outright direct. Everything's pre-planned, chicanery, trickery, deception. But it's planned in advance. So to get people's trust in and make people feel as though, as you said, people probably even pitied him at first. Why the country guys don't want him in? He just trying to do some wholesome music. He just sing about.
Yes. Because it sounded wholesome, that first song. It did sound, but then a lot of people were saying like, well, like it's not actually really that wholesome. Like when he's talking, like, I don't know, man. People were trying to say that there's a lot of innuendos in there and stuff like that, which there probably are.
Yeah,
what I mean? There probably are.
I might sound naive. I've never sat down and listened to his version. I've got no reason to. I mean, I'm familiar with it. I know it exists, but I could never say I sat down there and listened to it. So I don't know how it pales in comparison to the original. And maybe as an artist, as you said, he might have some, slick double entendres and some other stuff in there. I don't know if the dude was a rapper or a singer. I just assumed he was like a singer, a country singer. And then it's like now, I don't know if he's trying to go not that trap rap direction, but But I think the hip hop game, man, it needs a bit of a cleanup, like most of the things, and this is example here is no different.
No different at all, man. But again, man, just going back to what T Miles was saying, and even like what Pimp C used to say and stuff like that. From them saying that in that time then, and just seeing how it's evolved now, you got these Lil Nas X's running around, you got these Lil Uzi Verts and these Young Thugs, and it's the game has just definitely changed, man. The game has changed, boy. Yeah. From our generation to the generation now, like it's crazy.
Facts. With that being said, man, we just want to see people make some positive changes, less of all this foolishness, and I think realness gotta come back around, and people gotta identify and want realness and support it instead of all this foolishness, because I know we live in those times now. People want to be entertained and all that stuff, and that stuff's cool too. But when we get into all the gimmicks like we see now, like you said with some of those acts you mentioned, apart from real artists that have got something valuable to impart. To me, Marvin Gaye, one of the greatest artists of all time, and he made some great songs, great music, timeless, that will last forever. And he got a song called "Life Is for Learning," where he breaks down the role, duty, and examples of the life of an artist, and a lot of times the artist can pay the price, publicly in some ways as well too. So that's why I say I don't like to judge people too much or too harshly. But what I feel with this Lil Nas X, I can't support anything I've really seen him do from an artistic level, and for the rest of it, I just got condemned in the name of Jesus. and that's right there. So moving on from that.